All right, welcome everybody. This is the CSRN Live. This is where we come to you every Tuesday and talk about some of the things that we've done the week before, some of the things that we've planning for the future, and also some of the things that's happening now. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. He, him, as you see, I've got glasses on. I've got my black beanie. I've got a maroon kind of plaid scarf that matches.
Solid, brother.
Right, matches the shirt too. I guess
it's pretty fresh, man.
Well, thanks a lot. And as always, dedicated to respecting and protecting all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And I've got with me Julian Mack, our spokesperson. I've got our treasurer, Jody. And if we could start right now with our mission statements from Jody, then we'll.
And he's got Rude.
All right. Oh, okay. And we have the our lead administrative corps. We've got our sister, our goddess, Ruth Leonard. Hey, how you doing, Ruth?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Oh, man, it's awesome to see you today. Hey, we missed you. Did we miss you last week?
Yes, we did.
All right, no, I think we had her last week.
We had her last
week.
They don't even know when you're here.
Man.
I know you were.
Hey,
All right, well.
I'm glad somebody knows.
All right. Hey, it's awesome seeing you. Hope you have an awesome time where you are. It's awesome to see you. So we've got, of course, we've got Jody, we've got Julian, myself. We're about to get into our mission statement. We've got our guiding principles. Then we'll take it from there and bounce back and forth with Ruth on what's happening in education, politics, and such. And we've got you to start off right after your guiding principles of what's happening going on in Toledo. So, having said that, if we can go ahead and shift it to Jody, who he is, who you are, and start with our mission statement.
All righty. And Ruth out there on our super secret mission.
I
Make
know.
sure you keep your throwaway phone just to keep in case you get in trouble. No. Well, honestly, my name is Jody. J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. I am a brown-skinned man that is covered in wristbands and jewels and crystals. The shirt that I got on is a Robert Easterly shirt for our worldwide champion. Shout out to E Bunny. Hat is Filthy Feathers. Dolls, totems, stuff like that. I'm the treasurer. I get to keep all jingle things in place. My pronouns would be him, he, me. And the man, for those of you listening and can't actually see us on my screen right now. I always got my little accessories, my walking stick of justice, and everything like that. But this is a mission for those of you that are doing this, years of doing this consistently. And here's one of the ways we get it done. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of civil protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that's how we open up.
All right, and thank you, Jody. If we can have, and also if you're watching, join us in the chat with your comment, with your comments, and I'm sure one of us will be getting, we'll be corresponding with you during our live. If we can have Julian, if he could step up, go over our introduction and our guiding principles.
My name is Julian Mack. Preferred gender pronouns he, him. I am a peanut butter skinned black man with black and blonde locks with a You Will Do Better Toledo Juke Mode hoodie on. All black on black today. Our guiding principles are as follows. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based upon the world we want, not the one we are currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just to exist and think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
And Ashe means what?
One who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our culture. We must embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principal struggle can't exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct and loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love and self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be the driver of our work and the indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor the past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundation of the movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling our stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and our leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor and working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter. We are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. All right.
Hey, thank you, Julian. Now, I know we still have Ruth. Did you want to bring Ruth in to introduce herself?
Yes.
And then go right into our agenda on what's going on in Toledo from you. Maybe take a break, come back with Ruth in education and such, and keep it moving.
Yeah, Ruth, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Ruth Leonard. I am the administrative lead for the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo. I am basically responsible for all of the paperwork that takes place for CSRN. And I am a dark brown sugar complected woman. I have my hair in individual box braids. They are in a ponytail. I am wearing rose-colored glasses with a black long sleeve t-shirt on. And when we come back from this break, I will have a little information in regards to education in Toledo.
All right. Hey, so if we could take a short break, come back in 30, is it 30 minutes? 30 minutes, 30 seconds or a minute, and then we'll get right into Ruth. We'll get right into Julian and Jody. So stick with us. Hang.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Hey,
Yes.
we're back.
All
All right.
Hey, we're back. All right. Well, sometimes I'm amazed when things go right. All right. Hey, look, Ruth, we're going to kick it off with Julian, if it's okay with you, and what's going on in Toledo. Then we want to break off into education and such with the glamorous Ruth Leonard. All right.
Okay.
So sorry about that, Julian. I just
I'm many things.
Gotta represent.
I'm not glamorous.
Recognize. Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen. We really want to talk about what's going on in Toledo. People have been asking me, what is our take on some of the things political, some of the things that's going on at the prison and at the jail. So, from your take, what's going on in Toledo, and where do you see us making a difference?
Well, I think that. Well, let's just briefly go through what's going on. The red light cameras with City Council just passed about an hour ago, so they will be coming back. You should know that the 4 council persons that voted against it are Councilperson Comives, Gaddis, Whitman, and McPherson.
All good people.
So yeah, those are people that voted against it. All the rest of them voted for it. I guess what this is, the relevance of this for us is we don't believe that we should continue to this surveillance state of the Black community, this police state of the Black community. We need to move away from that, and we don't believe that in turn actually makes us safer. Also, it wastes money in litigation. It's been seen that this has been challenged by the Ohio Supreme Court at least twice by now, and we don't think it's wise to continue to waste money going to court for this particular, for something that the citizens of Toledo don't want. And yeah, so I mean that's just to give you a small tip of the iceberg that happened. Also, the oh man, I hope I don't say this wrong, but the pay to stay legislation, which is legislation Councilman Comives that just came up with, is on the verge of coming out committee. It was debated this week, but what this does is it helps prevent basically people getting kicked out of their house that can't pay rent in the middle of this pandemic. It's a very important piece of legislation. And really all members of City Council should be voting for this. There was a small delay, so we'll have to wait 2 weeks for that help. But there were some concerns on council people being worried about it being held up in litigation on whether or not City Council can and has the right to be able to prevent people from being evicted. And essentially, Councilman Comives made the case today that, look, if you're going to bring back red light cameras and that's going to be litigated, well, then you need to go ahead and bring back, then we need to go ahead and pass the right to help prevent citizens from being evicted out their homes in the middle of a pandemic.
And winter.
Yeah, and winter time. So that's what was discussed in City Council today. On a much broader level, we have to talk about what's going on with our incarcerated brothers and sisters. There is a kind of some developing information that we need to verify, that we got just a few minutes before this this meeting, that there are people being force fed in the county facility. That still needs to be, so we need to verify that and have a conversation with somebody. But we do have people in the state institution off of East Central Avenue, and that we can for sure say that the way that they're treating COVID-19 and that the state facility in North Toledo is completely unethical. All right. They've now brought the National Guard in. The National Guard is now in the state Toledo Correctional Institution. Essentially, the big reason is because so many guards have been infecting people who are incarcerated. We know just a couple months ago to the south of us, there was an infection rate of like 80%. I've had conversations with people who are incarcerated inside there, and essentially they're not testing consistently. They'll give people a thermometer and test their temperature, but they're not testing for COVID. And it's also been widely circulated through the Ohio Prisoners Justice League that they're actually testing the waste that leaves the facility to see how high COVID is, as opposed to just testing those who may be infected. All right, so there's all types of negligence there. There was someone who passed away. We've now had at least one person that's passed away in the county institution, and we've now had at least one more person that's passed away in the state institution, all right here in Toledo. So as COVID gets worse, for all of us who are lucky to have some resemblance of something that we call freedom, we do need to consider and remember that it's key that we continue to put pressure on our county officials to keep counties, so county commissioners, sheriffs, judges, to keep the Lucas County facility incarceration rate as low as possible. It is right around at least a 10-year low, which is good, right? This is the carrying out of policies people like allies like Pete Gerken have put into effect, right? So that is important. But if there's folks dying, no one should be dying in the custody of the state, right? So like if you all of a sudden are if the state or the government takes your body, right, you should not have to worry about death. And people should not be dying in the custody of our government. And so on the county level, we want to make sure we keep pressure on them to keep incarceration rates low. And on the state level, we want to make sure that they're releasing as many incarcerated brothers and sisters as possible, because we have to remember this disease is being brought to them.
That's right.
Right? They are essentially socially distanced from the rest of society. Right? So there's no there's no ethical way that you can be incarcerated and get COVID-19. Essentially, they're being infected by it by the guards, which is just wrong. So we have to remember our brothers and sisters in there, and you know it's serious if the National Guard is there, right? Anytime the National Guard is occupying space in your city where you live, I think every citizen should take note. All right, so we should know that things have gotten that extreme, and in our state institution right here in Toledo, that the National Guard has came in and has been there for really a couple of days consistently now because of the failure of those at the Toledo State Institution.
All right, and what we're going to do right now, if we can have Ruth, if you could bring Ruth on. And family, sorry about the hard transition from.
I'm going to go to Dr. P, and then we're coming right back to Ruth.
All right, let's do that.
Hold on, it's going to be a quick break. Stay right with us.
All right.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back, and thanks for that, Dr. P, buffer. All right,
I got you.
I needed kind of a palate cleanser at that point, because that was some serious things that you were talking about, and also to highlight the Free Ohio movement. We're going to post their link, and also the Ohio Justice League.
Ohio Prisoners Justice.
Right. We're going to make sure we put their
Yeah,
link.
there's an event I'm actually doing with them on Saturday that we're going to bring
We
some
need
of
to
these
make
things.
an event page and start sharing that.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure we share that on all of our platforms.
Yeah.
And speaking of platform, the lady that controls it all, our sister Ruth Leonard. Awesome to see you. Awesome to see you. What's happening in education and such, and also if you have anything to share on the Citizen Review Board in that process that's going on, and also if you want to share how people can help us keep this movement going.
Alrighty, hello everyone. I have a few big details that I want to discuss with you all. The first, in relation actually to the protest that took place on Thanksgiving Day, there was a protest that took place in front of, I believe, the Lucas County Health Director's house, where parents from all over the district, but I think primarily Ottawa Hills, were coming to voice their displeasure with the fact that students were not going to be able to have school or play in sports for the rest of the school year. So it's mainly the parents of students and the students who were in, I believe, basketball and football. Now, I say all that to say, on December 3rd, the Ohio House Primary and Secondary Education Committee will be having their first hearing sessions, and that those hearing sessions will include interscholastic athletics as well as the permit for family members to attend school athletic activities. So I know that right now Lucas County is operating kind of in its own hub, but we will be able to see after December 3rd what the state is deciding and how that will affect local decisions. So once again, keep in mind, December 3rd, that's when that first hearing will take place. The other thing that came out earlier this week is that in regards to TPS, I believe that there was legislation or questions that were brought up by members of ABLE, and those are the Advocates for Basic Legal Equality. And they were looking at the special education students who did not meet the required number of hours or compensation for one-on-one interactions. And so they're looking at last year and how that relates to 44 days that occurred between March 17th and May 22nd. So the end of last year when we went on that whole state lockdown, and the fact that SPED students did not receive compensation. So right now there's some discussion going on between Jim Gann and Patty Mazur, who are really integral to TPS's decision making and getting that information out. So as we find out more about what their decisions are, we will be sure to release that to you. Excuse me. One final thing in regards to education for TPS. This Friday is the deadline for families to register students for the second semester of the TPS Virtual Academy. There are students who were able to enroll for the first semester, and they, I believe, had the ability to decide whether or not they wanted to continue. But after this Friday, there will be no more extensions to enroll students in the Virtual Academy. Now, in regards to the Citizen Review Board, we are in the final stages of building our website so that we can start collecting information from citizens. Ooh. Sorry, let me try. Okay, so we are in the final stages of building our website so that we can collect information from citizens throughout the city in regards to the need for the Civilian Review Board. So be on the lookout for that. That will be on our Facebook page, our website, all that other good stuff. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is donations for this month. So I know that a lot of you are aware of Giving Tuesday, and that's like a national campaign. CSRN has always done our own thing, so we are introducing Donation Wednesday as opposed to Giving Tuesday. And Donation Wednesday is basically your opportunity to say that you support the work that CSRN does. You can definitely donate to either one of our places, with whether it's Cash App with the hashtag CSRN419, or you can go to paypal.me/CSRN419. Now, these donations are going to go towards lots of things throughout the city. As you know, we are still working to keep our billboard up around the city, but we're also looking forward to things like our 2021 virtual Black Lives Matter awards, and those are events that we want to continue to have throughout next year. We're looking at bringing back our scholarship program, but we can't do it we can't do it by ourselves. We need your help, so please donate on Donation Wednesday to Cash App CSRN419 or paypal.me/CSRN419. And with that, I hand it back over to the gentleman.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do right now, that was incredible, and I want to give everybody a chance for that to sneak in. There's some people a lot of times wonder what's going on, like on a national level, right? Like they hear about Black Lives Matter and they wonder, well, how come our senators or our Congress people, what can our Congress people do?
Okay.
Right. And they wonder
That's
what can
fair.
they do. So I wanted to show you all one of the things they can do. This is probably the most important piece of legislation that's come out in quite a long time. This is our generation's civil rights legislation. So this is the Breathe Act, and I wanted you all to become familiar with that. And we're going to go ahead and play that now.
Breathe. To be alive, remain alive, breathe. To feel free of restraint, breathe. Is this what liberation tastes like? Breathe. Fresh air exposition, breathe. Rest after exertion, I can't breathe. Hold up! It doesn't have to be like this. Imagine, what if Richard had been met with a tow truck in that parking lot instead of an armed police officer?
You okay?
Or what if Brianna and Ayana had slept peacefully through the night instead of being murdered in their beds? Or if a mental health professional had responded to the call about Kayla? What if they would have just let Elijah dance? What if my brother Monty got the treatment he needed instead of a jail cell? We are the largest and most diverse movement in the history of the world, and we are determined to create a future in which we don't have to imagine. Let me show you how.
The Breathe Act starts by ending federal funding of the police and moving to divert funds away from the punitive agencies like ICE and the DEA. No more tanks rolling through our city streets, no more children in cages, no more over-policing of Black and brown neighborhoods, life sentences over dime bags, no more wrongful convictions of innocent people, while abusers with money are left to go free again and again and again. This system, designed only to punish and cage, is not keeping us safe. It is not working for us.
The Breathe Act isn't only about defunding. In fact, that's just the beginning. Where are we going to put our money instead of police and prisons? By establishing federal incentives for cities and states, the next part of Breathe allows communities to create new, non-carceral models of public safety on their own terms. These could be healing justice programs, violence and abuse interruption programs, or job opportunities for formerly incarcerated people like me. The Breathe Act would allow these ideas to grow and expand.
So the thing that makes the Breathe Act really exciting is that it goes beyond the scope of how we traditionally view public safety. It's important that the right person shows up in an emergency. And we also need to build infrastructure to ensure that our communities are able to thrive day in and day out. That means access to healthy food and good jobs that pay a living wage, and cleaning up our neighborhoods that have been poisoned for generations. That means providing housing to families, children, and all of our people who've been living in tents and in cars and who've been sleeping on the streets. That means disrupting the school to prison pipeline and making sure that our children have access to quality schools that are nurturing, safe, and supportive. And that means economic innovation in communities, including piloting universal basic income programs.
Some of these names you know, many you don't. Each of these people died at the hands of our criminal legal system. They were loved, they were cherished, and their lives mattered. Their deaths have moved me and many others to fight with everything we have to end police violence and to make the Breathe Act a reality. That's why Breathe calls for reparations and accountability to the Black community and all those impacted by state violence. Repairing the harm done already is not a footnote, but an essential measure for progress. Finally, Breathe includes provisions to enhance self-determination in Black communities by strengthening voting rights and ensuring that all Americans are able to have a voice in our democracy. In the words of the late, great John Lewis, let us walk together with extraordinary vision and go make some necessary good trouble.
And we back.
All right. Hey, Julian, you 2 for 2 in producing tonight's CSRN video minutes. And listen, I wanted to kind of shift it.
I'm gonna let y'all talk.
All right.
Sorry.
I want to shift it right now over to Jody Summers. He serves as our treasurer. Jody, if you could talk about how art and activism, go hand in hand, and who are some of the people that you see out there on the ground making it happen?
Well, right now, today is Tuesday and Giving Tuesday. A lot of organizations, nonprofits, artists, entrepreneurs that have kind of been stagnated this year by everything that's going on. I mean, this is your chance to show appreciation to the people that's already downloaded online, because I'm treasurer, so I see every transaction that comes through. Thank you already. Shout out to Ruth and giving for the Wednesday event, which I'll be posting up and everything like that. But yeah, it's an interesting time. I know last week we were, kind of last week, but we were out there Black Friday watching everybody buy their merchandise and shopping and doing all this stuff. Hopefully social distancing and everything like that, and hopefully shopping with vendors. I had an vendor weekend also as well between work and making some stuff go on. So shout out to one thing, definitely I just saw it posted. I'll be posted on our page. I put it in a few groups. D4D, which is Duncan for Donation. Shout out to Gutter Dave and Tracy and everybody involved in that project, which is basically for the past few years, we've been able to have a basketball game that everybody can come to and donate toys and gifts and stuff, so we can buy the youth and underprivileged and under-recognized people toys or gifts or something like that, because a lot of times you don't get that in those type of neighborhoods or communities or cul-de-sacs or projects, if you want to call them that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Handmade. I believe they had a whole Black Friday weekend, which again, I don't not support buying on these weekend holiday days, but I do say you should buy from somebody local, because if you go to a corporation or if you do the Amazon or eBay or whatever stuff, that's not staying in your community. Those digital dollars, even though they're not paper dollars, aren't staying with you. If you get the same type of soap from a local vendor or something, well, they got to pay bills, or they got to go to the grocery store, or they got to get their kids something, and that's coming directly from your community. So shout out to the Arts Commission, who they have done so much, as much as they could without momentum and the normal fundraisers that they do to facilitate help to artists. I received a couple of awards this year and grants and stuff like that. And the youth program that they have for the arts is good, because that wasn't around when I was growing up. It is very crucial that something like this, because it's kind of like family. Artists are those strange, weird people you see every now and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, I'm inspired. But it's like, oh wow, I'm inspired. But in the end, it's been a very difficult year. So whoever you are, whatever you're out there trying to do, I'm pretty sure like Chris McBrayer is trying to do some stuff. Our normal, the program, I think they got a donation or did something virtually, because everybody again is moving online. D4D is moving online. Coming up, I guess, the end of this month, Kwanzaa, which I definitely want to speak on, is I believe that you said that was moving online. So a lot of things have changed. You won't get to see your loved ones and family as much. My family personally, we just condensed down to me and my sister instead of going to visit cousins. But Christmas, I'm still gonna then I don't have to shop anymore, because I create like everything, or I know people who create everything. So I'll shop with them individually and then package the stuff myself and see when I can. I'm learning the online mailing system. Then in these times, we just have to learn to adapt. Don't give up hope. Don't give up on the dreams that you had that may have not panned out the way you wanted to see them. If you see somebody that needs some help right now, this is the most desperate time to help. Even if you have a few hours to go down to the Cherry Street Mission or a food bank, the Cherry Street Mission being locally, but wherever your community is, any food banks, and you have some extra time. I know COVID is a very scary, real thing to be aware of. But if you have that time, do it, because a lot of people have lost more than they ever imagined this year in any kindness, even if it's just sharing their business page, liking their business page, leaving a comment, leaving a review. That helps more than most dollar amounts. So, I think that's about the most I wanted to talk about, organizations and stuff. I mean, if you weren't doing it last year, definitely do it this year. Thank you for your support to everyone out there, not only in our community, but all around the world. You may see a lot of negative stuff with the presidency and elections or anything else that's going on, but just know that there are good people out there working very hard to keep everything balanced.
All right. Now, Jody, before we have Julian take us to our next break, we celebrated our 6-year anniversary. If you can pull one name out of these, I know there's a lot, but if you could pull one name out of your mind that really made a difference in CSRN to you, who would it be?
I can't quantify one name, also because I'm really bad with names, but just some people who, when we started, and I'm just going to rattle off a few, because it's again, we aren't just 4 people or many people, we're our experience over these last 6 years that's got us here. So Terry Lynn, who was there from the beginning and just moved on, but they also, just in case people don't know, just because you're not on the live video or at the meeting or at the event, people are still part of the movement in their own individual way. That's why we are solidarity with everybody, because, hey, you may not want to protest this week and you want to create some music or some dolls or a sign or give some food out. So Terry Lynn, Cherry Forward, there's been some Barbie, Rebecca, Dan Rutt.
See, you
like,
did that? See?
People that are crucial to the behind the scenes work. Shaylee, who
Right.
is always there at some point in time, and you just don't see them, but you
Right.
don't have to because they know they're doing the
That's
work,
right.
and that's all that
That's
matters.
right. That's what we wanted to lift up. And during the next few weeks, we'll take a short break from what we do to let you know who's all really behind the scenes and in front of the scenes making this happen. Hey, give us 30 seconds or a minute. We'll be right back. CSRN.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're back. Closing out our last few minutes here. Some of you should see the behind the scenes when the commercial goes on. Man, these people right here. Hey, look, can't take them anywhere. Hey, listen.
Shot glasses all around.
Right. Yeah. Don't tell everything. Hey, listen. We want to also thank all of the people that we see in the chat. Thank you for keeping this alive. Thank you for the motivation. Thank you for all of the encouragement. What we want to do right now is tie up some loose ends, Julian. Mm-hmm. Anything that you think that that we missed, and then we'll check in with Ruth to see if there's anything that we missed. And we got to have 5 minutes of heat with Jody.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on right now. Even when doesn't seem like there's stuff going on, there's stuff going on. So Governor DeWine has this community police advisory board, which makes suggestions on things that should change on the state level with policing. Some of you may remember that one of the things John Kasich bragged a lot about was his Ohio task force on community police relations, which included, Mike DeWine, our soon-to-be next sheriff, Mike Navarre, and Nina Turner, all right, the progressive Black woman you see with Bernie Sanders often. All right, and so that led to some changes. So they're doing it again, notably for one person I think we should all know that's on that board. The governor appointed former mayor and fire chief Mike Bell. So there's a handful of other people on here I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to really say anything too negative about them, but there's a lot of people. There's a handful of people on here I've never heard of.
Prove themselves.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. Yesterday we posted a video from some activists in Columbus on some things that have changed with their civilian review board. Right, we're all under the Ohio Revised Code, so that was shared so people can see a lot of the things that if a city like Columbus can make those changes, we can make those changes too. And then following this later today, there's an event where Black Lives Matter Cleveland will be showing on some of the issues on having the feds involved with the Cleveland Police Department. I think it's important that we keep in mind all the work that's being done, not just citywide, but statewide, because these changes can affect, they depend on each other, right? And so it's important that we know that. Ruth?
Yes. I would like to announce that I am graduating with my master's in 2 weeks.
kids are getting smarter and smarter.
Yes. So
Is
yeah.
that a live studio audience where you're at?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So yeah. As we reach the end of the year, I know CSRN still has a few more. We still have a few more meetings to get through before the end of the year. But I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone who is graduating this Christmas season, because I know that it has been a very trying time just to get through everything, with your final semester being the return to school in the middle of a pandemic. So to everyone that has made it, congratulations. We walking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear from that live studio audience one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, you like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or something?
I am.
All right.
Hey, look,
Back to you, Brother Washington.
all right, thanks. Before we hear from Jody in 5 minutes of heat, I just want to remind everyone, and particularly our activist family, to take care of themselves. Take care of your mental health. Pull back. Stay grounded. Recenter yourself. We don't have to be out there every day. Trust and believe that you've done enough, that people are still feeling the effects of the things that you did last week, last month, and over the summer. So I know that there's a lot of anxiety. I know that there's a lot of nervousness. I know that there's a lot of fear. But take some time to recenter yourself by you can meditate, some positive affirmations, some visualization exercises. You can just look some grounded techniques up. This is what we use often. That's why we've been here in the thick of things for 6 years plus. And if the universe is willing, we'll be here 6 more years. But we don't do that by just staying out in the street, just by putting everything out without bringing it in. So that's one of the things that I want to remind everyone to do. And if you are going to spend during this holiday season, find a Black business, Black charity. You already know our dollars circulate in our community less than an hour. All right. We want to get it up to a day. We want to get it up to a week. Economic justice is the engine of the revolution. So I wanted to say that.
That's good stuff. Can I just give a special shout out to Justice Equality Toledo for their food drive that they had this past week. See y'all. We appreciate the work that you all are doing. And thank you.
All right. Jody, and as always, we don't necessarily close out our meetings as the older people do. All right. We do it with style. We do it with finesse. We do it with swag. Jody, anything you needed to add? And also, if we can have 5 minutes of heat.
Yeah. Again, as usual, during this holiday season, make sure you appreciate your loved ones while you have them. I think this year should have taught the entire globe how fragile and how instantly someone can be gone.
That's right.
So just make sure that when you're out there and you're purchasing stuff, you're not just buying the latest new thing because it looks good. And remember that there are families starving, families evicted, buying stuff, especially from local business owners who we all have taken a big hit. Doesn't matter what realm you're in, whether you're an author, whether you're an entertainer, you work for a restaurant, you own a restaurant. Crap, I'm talking about myself. But still, all of that stuff matters. The community service, again, a lot of our structures and everything, fundraising was a way how you don't have to apply and get to grants when you have a 50c3 or 4 to meet certain requirements. And a lot of that has changed this year. You can't just say we're going to tough it through because you might lose 2 or 3 board members in the process, whether it be due to virus or depression or mental health or the strain of, again, you don't always have to be out there. This is not your battle to fight alone.
That's right. That's right.
People don't have to agree with you completely, but find some common ground. I think right now, common ground is the best thing we can stand on after all the other foundations have been crumbled away. So this poem And speaking of foundations, I wish I could silently choke Facebook because my career has been making notes before I publish them into books and stuff like that, so I can reshare to people for free before you have to go to the book and some website. That's why the moment I can, I also put them in public libraries so you can get them for free. Over the course of my years, I've created around 3,000 individual notes. So if anybody knows, back in October, Facebook eliminated notes. So luckily my stuff is on my pages. I just have to find that. Some months I published about 45 to 1 year I did 256 individual pieces. So trying to find them is difficult, but I did find one thanks to 30 Days of Writing, which will most likely be the next book series. So we're just going to go over that from the post.
Okay.
That was long.
Ready?
This piece is called You.
All right.
So let's begin. Peace. Do you see it? Right there. Off in the distance. That's you. Your destiny unfolding right before your very eyes. If you keep your head out of your screen long enough, I promise you'll see it. The footsteps of everyone that believed in you and kept your path moving forward. Pitfalls and deep dark holes you never thought you would make it out of. But I promise you, it's there. Every time you pull yourself out of a chasm and reach across the universe of possibilities, you will find yourself. You create volumes of history, leaving libraries of information across countless people you encounter. Although many will doubt your own personal manifestation, you only have to be true to yourself. Do you see it? Right there. A life unlike anyone else. In peace.
Woo. And we snap our fingers, all right? We don't clap our hands.
That boy good.
I was laughing too because Julia was in his phone when I said the phone line about the screen.
Right. And we're going to close out with our solidarity pledge. Does Ruth have the pledge?
Ruth, you got the pledge?
She can hear us.
I do not.
You want to close out, Julian?
Sure. No, I was gonna let Ruth close this out.
Oh, you got.
Hold on.
Your audience, but this
Your audience chime in too.
okay. All right, y'all. Go watching. Ruth, the live studio audience, please repeat after me and all those watching via stream. Say I. Say your name.
Brother
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I. Say your name.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To study to improve myself.
To study to improve myself.
Spiritually.
Mentally.
Morally.
And physically.
For the benefit of myself. My family.
And my people. I.
Say your name.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
To
be a part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
The process. Not the problem.
And not the problem.
I. Say your name.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Give
all that I can spare.
To give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
Of my
strength.
Of my strength.
And my energy.
To achieve the above said.
Now give yourself a round of applause.
Woo!
Congratulations, Ruth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, all lives can't matter unless Black Lives Matter. Justice or else.
Peace.
Women in the spotlight.